I'm from Brent. They say it means holy one. They usually come in the shape of the closest ones to make sure this environment is something you don't become. When darkness covers the home from young, there's a thin line between having loads of fun and being groomed. Surely you've heard a similar story. This is mine. But the lines are so familiar it could be the other youth after me, amongst me, before me. It got gory when we outgrew those toy knives for what mum was cutting that meat with in the kitchen. We went from building Lego to building blocks with shutters. It was cops and robbers before we grew to fit the description. I see freedom. Drifter society pulls me in every which way. The joke is, I stopped playing tug of war when I became the ropers. Quite the norm. No one guessed I was gonna end up in darkness when my light was born. Maybe my innocence left with that. It's like they kicked me out to teach me a lesson, the worst kind of irony. Politicians or a knife, which cuts the deepest? Maybe I was led astray by those on the estate who became the only family on ends I had. Police roll by convinced we're convicts before we converse. started off as a good son. Look what the hood done. Life flashed before my eyes the second after I took one. Police roll by convinced we're convicts before we converse, or youths who barely touch the curb uphold the code and know that feds ain't ones to speak with. Man down. Now the whole hood stuck with secrets, grieving, pointing fingers, thinking man love to see this, but it's hard for me to point the blame when I'm the one pointing the blade still. Politicians or a knife, which cuts the deepest? Maybe I was led astray by those on the estate who became the only family on ends I had. Maybe my innocence left with dad. Maybe it left with mum's sanity. Maybe I'm a mirror image of them. Is our behind closed doors the same as everyone's family? It's hard to contain the agony of being rejected by school. If they saw eye to eye with me, they may have seen signs in my pupils of internal battles I was fighting silently. It's like they kicked me out to teach me a lesson. The worst kind of irony. They say when everything's done and said, you make your own bed. Eventually it will be in a coffin or laid in prison. The bed's embedded in the backstory of how a bagger man came to the same decision. How many more bodies have to drop until we break tradition?